Hey, it's Tom from WPWithTom.com, and in this video I'll show you how to create a blog with WordPress. So if you don't know what WordPress is, it's the #1 blogging platform in the world, and roughly 30% of websites all throughout the world use it. And I've created this blog tutorial to be very beginner friendly and go step by step through the blog creation process. And in it we use a free theme and we use a free builder, which is a drag and drop builder that you can use to create your website and make it a lot easier for the design process. And I use 2 free templates to speed up the overall design process. So I go over things like how to set up a blog post with a featured image, how to set up this header image up here, change this font, change the menu right here, add these widgets on the right side with categories that you can have different categories. For this example, I used a food blog, but this can be applied to all different types of things. I went over how to set up our text within the actual post itself and how to add headers, images, links, and things like this within our post. I also go over here and I show you how to make an about page like this one in just a matter of minutes. And I made a contact page as well just in a matter of minutes for this site. So I really tried to make this one as beginner friendly as I could and as cost effective as I could. So there's only really 2 things that cost money, and those are essential to have your website live and on the internet. And those 2 things are a domain name and hosting. So if this blog looks good to you and it looks like something that you'd want to learn how to make yourself, then be sure to stick around and let's move on to the next step and start the process of creating this blog. So before we dive in, I just wanted to mention that I'll have a link below that ensures that you're going to be getting the lowest price on SiteGround. If you want to use it and support my channel, you can check out wpwithtom.com/SiteGround. Once you use that, you'll be taken to this page, and then we can get started with the WordPress install process. I've been a SiteGround user for several years now, and they're easily one of the best hosting options that you can get started with when you're using WordPress. They've got fast hosting, great support, and amazing uptime. However, SiteGround actually made some changes recently to WordPress and how it works. Not only did they move to Google Cloud, which makes it faster, they also added 2 new data centers to speed up loading times for users all over the world. And the big change they made is how you install WordPress within their platform. You're no longer going to be using the cPanel WordPress install process, but one that is unique to SiteGround and their platform. So let's dive into how to actually set it up by going through the process of purchasing a domain and hosting and then installing WordPress. So to get started here, I'm going to go and click on where it says WordPress hosting. And then here there's 3 different options. I actually recommend the Grow Big plan right here out of these 3 options because you're able to host unlimited websites with this, whereas you're only going to get one website with the startup plan. In my opinion, you can go from the Grow Big and upgrade to Go Geek if you need more space for more visitors, but early on it's unlikely that you're going to see more than 25,000 visitors. So I think the Grow Big plan is the way to go if you're just getting started out and you want to make multiple websites. I remember I started out with one website and I've probably made hundreds since then. So I recommend that you go with the Grow Big. In reality, I think it's just the best value out of these plans. So if we go over here, I'm actually going to use the startup for this example and show you how to install WordPress on it. So let's go and click Get Plan. And then here we're going to need to input our domain name that we're going to register. So if you already have a domain name and you've registered it somewhere else, you can use this option. But for this process, I'm going to go through it as if we don't have a domain name yet, and I'll register a new domain name. So the domain I'm going to go with right here is called growwebsites.com. And I'm just going to go and click Proceed right here. You can see it's $15.95 a year for the domain name, and if it is available, it will say congratulations and it will tell you that it is available to register. So from here, you're going to need to fill out your account and client information as well as your payment information right here. I'm actually going to pause the video here for a second while you do that, and then I'll scroll down to this area, the purchase information, and we can go over this part of the website plan itself here. Alright, so I filled out the information above with my personal information, and down here within the purchase information and extra services, I want to make sure that we put domain privacy enabled right here. And the reason that we do this is it keeps your information private. If it's not checked in this case, then any domain name that you register, it doesn't matter where you register it, SiteGround is no exception to this, that people can see your information such as your phone number and your email, and you will get spammed. So I highly recommend that you check domain privacy right here. And then from here, I'm just going to go down and click I confirm. You can read the terms and service and privacy policy if you'd like. And then here, I'm going to go and click pay now. So this is going to take us to the next page here in a second. And we can see that it says your order was successfully submitted. Your account was successfully created. So once you've done that, you're actually probably going to get an email, and you're going to want to just verify that email to that address to make sure your website and domain plan are verified with SiteGround. From here, we're going to just go and click proceed to customer area. And once this loads up here, it's going to just take a second. We can go to where it says set up site. And then once we click on that, we're going to be able to start to make our new website. So it says start new website, install a new application. We'll just click on that. And then we'll go down here and we'll choose select WordPress. And here we're going to need to put in our WordPress login and password. This is something that you're going to need to remember, so you might want to write this down, but you're going to need to refer to this to log into WordPress each time. So I'm just going to write one right now. I'm just going to make it the same that I had for the actual admin username and password that I set up a second ago. And then once you're happy with that, you can go and click continue. And now it says SG Site Scanner. I'm actually not going to use that. I'm just going to go and click where it says finish right here. And now it says creating your website. This process can take up to 2 minutes. So if you haven't already verified your email, I would go and do that now while this is going into place here for this potential 2 minutes to create your site. And now it says we're all set up here. What we'll want to do now is go and click manage site. So if you actually have your domain name somewhere else, you might want to grab these right here. And these are name servers, and then you'll point them to SiteGround, so then it will be hosted at SiteGround. Since we went through the process of registering our domain name here, we'll go to where it says manage site. And then from here, we'll be redirected to a new area. And then here, this is basically our dashboard for our SiteGround install here. So if we were to go up here and just go to grow websites, and I'm going to just open this in a new tab, growwebsites.com, you can see here's our website, but right here it does not have SSL enabled. So to actually go and enable that and make our website secure, we need to go over here to where it says security, SSL manager, and then we're going to find our domain name. I only have one here. And then I'll go and click Let's Encrypt and Get. So that gets us Let's Encrypt. It can take a couple minutes for this to go into effect, but that will give us our SSL certificate for this website, and we just have to do one step after this to make it go into effect fully. So it says our request is being processed now. And now it says our Let's Encrypt is installed for growwebsites.com. So if I went back here and I refresh, you're going to see that it's actually still not in place here. So to make it fully go into place, we can go down to where it says HTTPS enforce. And then from in this area, we're going to need to toggle on our HTTPS enforce right here. And now it says success, it was enabled. So it might take a couple minutes to go into effect, but that is how you enable your site secure lock and make this secure right here on our website. And then we can go and start building our website. So we go over here and we would just type /wp-admin right behind our URL right here, our domain name. So it's growwebsites.com/wp-admin. And then in this area, we put in the information that we just set up for our login and password to get in here. So let's put that in right now to log in to the back end of our website. And I'm going to just put in my password. And I'll just click log in. Here, if you lose your password, it can be resent to you, but I'll click log in now. And here we are within the website itself. I'm going to go and just click exit right here in this WordPress starter area. And here we are in the dashboard of our website. So to get started from here, we're going to need to clean up our website a little bit. And this is one of those things that I think many people in tutorials just glaze over. And I really just want you to have a good blog with the proper settings by the end of this video. So let's go through these settings right now. So by default, we can see that we have a post section. And let's actually go here and visit the site. So I'm going to X out of SiteGround. We don't need that anymore. And if we go over here, this is what it looks like by default. So I'm actually going to go down to where it says Appearance Themes, and I'm going to get started by installing our theme. So a theme is basically like the template that we have to build off of, or the foundation for our site. So I'm going to go and add a new one, and I'll just go and search for one called Ashe. So it's A-S-H-E, and it's this one right here. You can preview it if you'd like. I'm just going to go and install it right here to get started. And this is a free theme, and I'm going to go and click Activate. So once it's activated, you can see this is the active theme, and these ones right here are not in use. So we can actually go and click in the center where it says Theme Details on these other ones, like 2019, and just click Delete and OK. Do the same for 2017 here, Delete and OK. And we'll do the same for 2020, Delete, and then OK. So now we're left just with this theme here for this blog. So if we went back here and we refresh this, we're going to see a new look to our website right by default. So here we can start seeing some of the changes that we're going to need to make. We don't have a menu, for example, and the layout might not be great. And there's a lot of things on the back end that aren't actually going to show here visually on the site, but we do need to change. So let's go back here into the dashboard area. This is called the dashboard. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to where it says Posts. So here on the front, it says Nothing Found right here. You can go and make sure there's no posts. If there's any in there, you might want to just delete that out of here. And then we'll go to the next section down here, which is Pages. And here I'm going to go and click Trash on the sample page. You also can go and select it and go right here, Move to Trash, or just click Trash right on it. Then we're going to go and empty the trash. So we click on Trash right here and delete it permanently. And now we no longer have that sample page if you go to the Pages tab. So that's one thing done. If we go down to where it says Comments, if there's any comments in here, I would delete those out as well. And then we already went into Appearance Themes, and that's where we uploaded this theme. We'll come back to this area in a little bit and set up the menu right here. But for now, we're going to go down and we're going to move on to where it says Plugins. And down here, it has this SG Optimizer. That's a plugin that comes with the actual install for SiteGround. So it's a SiteGround optimizer. It's supposed to make your site perform a little bit faster, and that's something unique to SiteGround that most other hosts don't include. So you can leave that if you'd like. I'm actually going to deactivate the WordPress starter and delete that out of here. Click OK. And now we're just left with this plugin. So a plugin is kind of like an app on a smartphone. It gives it more power and more functionality. I'm going to get into these in a little bit. But if you want to, you can go and click Begin Install Plugin for the one that it recommends, and then just click Install on Elementor. So it says it was successfully installed. If we go back to Plugins over here, we can now see that it's there. We'll just need to click Activate to make it go into effect fully. And I'm not going to go into this right now, but this is how to use the Elementor Builder, which is a free builder with a paid version as well, or a pro version that comes with it. We're just going to use the free one in this example. So I'm just going to go and click out of this right here. And now another thing that I wanted to mention to you is if we went over to Users, Add New, in this section you'd be able to add a new user. So let's say you have a writer that's going to write for your blog. You're outsourcing content to someone else to write. You might want to add them with a username and email, and then it will send the user a new email about their account. So the level contributor is someone that can actually write on your post here, so they can write within the blog post section, but they can't actually publish it live on the website. They only can write it and save it as a draft. So it's perfect to make someone a contributor if you're going to be outsourcing work and letting them write on your actual website without actually having the ability to publish it. Only the administrator can change these rights, so a contributor is a good level to make someone if you do have a writer for your website. Now, a lot of people aren't going to have that, so I'm just going to move on to the next section here, and that's going to be going down into the settings area. So if we go to Settings and General, right here it says Site Title, My WordPress, and this says Tagline, Just Another WordPress Site. So you can see right here at the top it says My WordPress, Just Another WordPress Site. So this is where you can change that site title and tagline. So mine's Grow Websites. I could make it something related to that. But as an example here, let's just go and put something related to a blog here. So I'm going to go and name this just a random name for a food blog. And I'm just going to make this one Teen Foodie. and that is actually available teamfoodie.com at this point. So that's part of why I chose this. And then I'll make the tagline something related to that. And from here, if you wanted to, you can go down and change different things like your administrative email if you want to change that, where emails are going to go to when people contact you, or if you need updates within WordPress, maybe doing a big update, you might get an email to this administrative email. Here you can also change your time zone. So this can come into play if you're going to schedule a post to go live on your blog and you want it to go live at a certain time. You want to make sure this time zone is correct. So you can look this up based on your UTC time zone and find out where it is and what it would be in here. Mine's -5 in this case. So here you can also change the date format, the time format. You can change when the week starts on, and then you can go and save the changes down here. Another thing that I'm going to do is show you the reading section, so settings, reading. And here you can change where your actual home page is. So basically, this is set up a little bit differently than most, but you could change it so your blog is shown on the home page or different pages. Since we don't have other pages set up right now, by default, your blogs are just going to show right here on the main page of the site. I think that's what most people are going to want anyway, since this is a blog focused tutorial, but I just wanted to show you that you would change this under settings reading if you didn't want the blog to be on your home page here. So if we go over here to settings discussion right here, you can choose to allow people to submit comments on new posts, or you can uncheck that to make sure comments don't go on a post. And you also can make sure that comments must be manually approved if you don't want comments showing up on your website. So that's some options if you don't want comments showing up on your website, and it helps you avoid spam as well. I'm going to go and save those changes at the bottom, and then I'm going to go down to where it says settings permalinks right here. I'm going to make sure this one says post name by default here. So as an example for why you would want this, if you were writing a post and you had the plain structure like this right here instead of post name, with plain it might say growwebsites.com $P equals 583. No one knows what that means, but if you had growwebsites.com /fudge-brownies, people know that the post is going to be about fudge brownies, or at least it should be in that case. I think it's better for user experience. It's better for people that are viewing the results in Google to see what the post is about, and it's going to increase your click-through rate, which basically means more people are going to click on your post because they know what it's about and they know what it's targeting. It's targeting what they're searching and fulfilling their search intent by giving them what they're actually looking for. So it's really important to have post name as the option down here, and then just save those changes with it as post name. Okay, so the settings are now where we want them to be for this website. So next, let's set up the menu structure for our website now. So to set up our menu properly, we first need to add pages to our menu itself. So if you were to look over here right now, it says setup menu. There's nothing going on over here because we don't have any pages. So what we're going to need to do is go back over here in the dashboard and then go to where it says pages, add new. And once we go into this section, it's going to load basically a blank template for a page. So you can add a page title and start writing. And this is the Gutenberg editor here. What I'm going to do is just go and click add title. So I'm just going to set up these pages right now for our website. And we're going to have a basic 3-page website here with the home, about, and we're going to have a contact page with a basic contact form as well. So I'm just going to get started by adding about right here and then clicking publish, and then I'll hit publish again, and then I'll go back over here, click the W, and then I'll click add new and pages again, and then I'll go and type contact right here, and again I'll click publish and publish to make this go live. So if I go back over to the W right here that says view pages, and I go down to where it says appearance menus, we're going to see that now we have these on the left side here. So what we're going to need to do is go and click main menu here, and we're going to need to name our menu. So I'm just going to write in main menu, and I'll click create menu, and we want to make sure it says main menu here. So that's the one that's going to display right here on the site as our primary menu for our website. So that's what you want to check right here, and we'll add each of these to the menu. So you click on them, click add to menu, And then in this area, you can actually go click, hold, and drag and reorder them as needed. So I'm going to have it go about and then contact here. And if you wanted to have a drop down, you could actually go and click and drag it and make it go just to the side, and it will say sub item. And that means that contact would be a drop down item in your menu of about. I'm actually going to have separate pages, so I'm going to leave it like this. And you can see right here, if we go and save the changes and then go over to our site, let's go and refresh. Now we have about and contact. Now the problem here is if you were to go and click on about, for example, now it says growwebsites.com/about. But if you want to go back to the home page, there's no home page to go back to. You can go to contact, you can go to about, but you can't actually click home here. So to set this up properly, what we're going to need to do is go back into this area, and we're going to go down to where it says appearance menus, custom links right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab this area. I'm going to go and grab growwebsites.com right here, https://growwebsites.com. You're going to grab whatever it is in your case for your domain name. Go back over here and then paste this in right here. So you want it to look like this, https://growwebsites.com, just like that. And then you're going to go and add a link text. So I'm going to name this home. You can add the name blog if you want your home page to be called blog. I'm just going to add it as home, and that's where the blog is going to be. Then I'll click add to menu. And you're going to see it shows up as a custom link. So I'm going to go click, hold, and drag it and drop it to the top right here. And I'll save this menu right here. So if we went back over here and we refreshed right here, now we see that there is this home page with this custom link. So right here it says growwebsites.com/about. And then if we went to contact, it says /contact. And home says just growwebsites.com. If we made it a separate page, it would say /home. So every time someone went to go to your website, it would be growwebsites.com/home instead of just growwebsites.com. So that's why we do it this way with the custom link. And right here you can see it says nothing found, but that's where our post would be for our blog right here on the home page itself. You can also see right here is our site title and tagline. So it says Team Foodie, giving you my best recipes. You can change that and make whatever you want it to say here, but that's just our example here. So now that our menu and our pages are set up nice and neat, let's go and change the overall look of our website by changing out this image right here and changing our sidebar areas down here with the archives and categories, meta, and where these recent comments and search are. We can change all of that as well. So let's first go over how to change this image and then these sidebar widgets here. Alright, so from in this area we can actually navigate back over into our dashboard area over here, and we can go to where it says appearance and then customize. And this is the customizer. It's basically included in every WordPress theme out there. Some use it more extensively than others, and luckily for us, this theme has a lot of options built right into the free version here that we can take advantage of, including changing out this image and a bunch of other things. So I'm actually going to go through the process and go right down the list here of ones that I think are worth changing to change the overall look for our site. So if we wanted to, we can go to where it says skins right here, and this is the default skin. And basically the big thing that you're going to see is these are listed like this. It has this line next to it in archives, line next to it in categories. If you wanted to, you can go and change it to be dark, and it changes the whole look of it. You can actually see those lines a little bit better now. Or you can go down here and make it box, and this is the one that I like, with this boxed area around each setting. That's actually kind of how Facebook looks, with these little boxes around each area. If you look at it sometime, you might notice that. And then here you can actually have this option to change it to dark mode within the website. So if someone's on it, they can change it to dark mode. I'm actually going to choose that and toggle that off or uncheck that there, so that's no longer an option within this area. So this is the one that I'm going to be using going forward for this skin. And then if we go over to where it says colors, we have other options in here. So by default we have this accent color right here. You can see that's the same one that's used within the menu and when we hover over various items here. So if we wanted to, we can go and click this. You can actually grab this and make it less transparent by moving this bar up in this color picker. And you can choose different fonts. You can see it changing within the menu right here as I move it around. I'm going to go and just make it maybe like a hot pink color or something like that. And then up here we have this header text. So right now this header text is black, and you can adjust that as needed. I'm actually going to put a darker background image on this and then have lighter text. So right now I'm going to just make this lighter text. It's hard to even see right here, but that's how you would do that. I'm going to make it white right here. And then I'm actually happy with how this looks right here. So I'm going to go and click publish. And then I'm going to go back here to this section. Now I am going to change this image, so bear with me. But if you want to have a light image like this, then the darker text would probably work fine, or maybe use the same text that you had down here as the accent text color. So if we were to move along here, we can see that there's this option right here called top bar, and that's this up here, this bar. I'm actually going to go and uncheck that so it gets rid of that, and then our image is bumped up right to the top of the website. I'm going to get out of that one and go back here, and here is the header image. So in this example here, I'm actually going to use a different image in the background, and you can see if you read over here, it says they recommend it works best with 1300 by 500 pixels. And I know you might be thinking, well, how do I make an image that size? I don't know how to do that. There's actually a very easy tool, and it's called Canva. And if we navigate over to canva.com, you can sign up for a free account here and get started. So you can go and click sign up to get started. I'm just going to log into my existing account now. And from here, once we log in, we're going to have a lot of different options. So when you're in your account, you can actually go right up here to where it says create a design. And here it says custom dimensions. That's what we're going to want to click. And then it says width right here and height. You can go back here and look again, 1300 by 500. So we're going to enter in 1300 width and a height of 500 pixels. And then we'll click create a new design. So this brings us to an area where we can actually start editing our images. So if we go over here and click on photos, there's a lot of free to use photos in here. I actually recently tried out a couple. So I tried out this one that's like a cupcake one for a lighter background, and it would have darker text over it, or maybe the hot pink text that we just chose over here in this area. And you could use that for this lighter background with darker text or something here. It would look pretty good for an image like this. Now you can search for all different things. You can see I searched for pizza, food, dessert, and that gives you an example or an idea of what kind of things I put for the background for this foodie blog here. So I'm actually going to go and use this one, this pizza one right here, and I'm going to go and move this. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag it and move it. I can click on this one and just click delete to get rid of it. And if you want to actually readjust, you can click, hold, and drag it, and then you can go and put it in the corner like this and drag the other corner. You can adjust it, click, hold, and drag it to move it around, and you want to make sure it takes up this whole white area here in the background. So what I'm going to do is just go and drag it over, and now it takes up this whole area, and I'm going to click out of it on the outside. So if you're happy with the look of it, I'm going to have light text on this, and this is a darker image, so it works pretty well. You can just go and download it when you're happy. And then I'm just going to go and click download right here. And it says preparing your design, and we can get started with it. So I'm actually going to go and click save file, and I'll exit out of here. So now our file is saved. If I wanted to, I can click on this folder to open it up, and it opens up on my screen. So what I can do from here is I actually can go back over here, click where it says add new image in this 1300 by 500 area for the header image, select images, and I will just go to my downloads folder where we just were, click on this untitled design. Now you're going to want to retitle this, so you might want to make it say Team Foodie or whatever the name of your website is in this case. And I'll do that, and I'll copy that, and I'll also use the same text in the alternative text right here to describe the image, and then I'll click select and crop, and here I'm actually going to go and skip cropping. So now we have this big image here on our site as the background image for our header for this foodie type blog. So if you're happy with that, you can leave it as is, or you can go and get a different image and set it up how you want it to look. There's a lot of different options within Canva, and it's great that they have this free option. So I'm going to go and X out of Canva since I'm done with that for now. And I'll go back over here to the back end of our appearance area within our site. So I'm going to go back right here, and I'll go down to where it says site identity next, And here it says your title and your tagline. So it says Team Foodie giving you my best recipes. Let's say I don't want to have that right here. I can delete that out of here and just have the site title that says Team Foodie right here. You can also choose to use a logo and a fav icon. I actually recommend doing that and getting a logo through Fiverr if you want to get one. I'm not going to go over how to do that in this actual tutorial here, but if you want to get one, you can use wpwithtom.com/Fiverr and find a great designer to make a logo for your website here. So for now, I'm going to actually go back here to where it says site identity, and I'm going to navigate down to where it says blog page right here. And here we have a lot of different options. So you can actually go and leave these as is. And right here, you can actually go and disable comments or not show comments on your post itself. And that's something I'm going to do in this case. And then I'm going to go back right here. And from here, I'm going to go down to where it says typography. And this is pretty cool. So they only give you actually 3 fonts to choose from. So you can see Team Foodie up here in this bold font right here. Pretty plain. It's all capitalized. And that's how it is for the menu as well. If you wanted to, you can go and change it to this one. It says Rocket, which is a little bit different font, but I like this one right here, this Calam one right here, and it gives this italicized capital look to it. It looks nice. And we can do the same for our menu right here and make it Calam as well if we want. You can choose if you want it italicized or not, make it even more italicized. So it's up to you on whether you want to do that or not. I'm just going to leave it as is for this case with home, about, and contact just like that. You can choose if you want to toggle off the uppercase. I'm going to leave it, and then I'm just going to hit publish to make these changes go into effect fully here. So if we went back over to the home page of our site and we refresh it, you can see that this is what it looks like now. It says Team Foodie, has the different colors right here, and now we have this box layout for our site as well. So next I'm going to go over how to actually remove this left sidebar if you don't like that on the site, and I'm going to show you how to change some little things on the right sidebar as well. And now our blog will take up this whole area over to here rather than just a small intersection right here. So let's go over how to do that here next. Alright, so if we go back from here to the dashboard itself, we actually can click X right here to go back to it. You want to make sure you publish it before you do that. And then we'll go down to where it says Appearance and then Widgets right here. And within this area it says right sidebar, and then we have this left sidebar drop down right here. So if you look over here, we have search, recent comments, and it would have recent posts, but we don't have any posts right here now. So that would be in the middle. Then on the left we have archives, categories, and meta right here. So if you see right here, we have archives, categories, and meta. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move categories, and I'm going to drop that in right up here. So you can click, hold, drag it, and drop it. And I'm actually going to get rid of comments because we're not even going to have comments on this site anyway. So what I'm going to do is go from here and left sidebar, and I'm going to go and delete this one. And I'll go to meta and I'll click delete on that one. So there's nothing in this, but this is still going to show here. There's just nothing actually in it. So if we go to categories here, another thing I'm going to do is just click display as drop down and click save. So once we have categories for our posts, which we're going to get into here in a moment, we're going to actually be able to display different types of categories in a drop down list. So maybe it would be breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, as an example for the categories for a food blog. So from here, I'm going to actually go back. You don't have an actual save area within here. So we can go back over here and refresh it. And now you can see that it's full width, or at least the 2/3 width with the blog rather than in the intersection right here. And then on the right, we have the search, and then we have a categories drop down. If we had categories for blog posts, they'd be in here. And our recent blog post would be in this middle section right here. And our search option right here for people wanting to look for a particular post is right there. So that's a very easy way to change that within the appearance widgets section back here. And I should also mention that if you wanted to add like an image of yourself, you could go and drag this in. So it says image, and you could put it in here and then add an image. It's very common for bloggers to have an image of themselves on the right sidebar. So that's something you might want to do. I'm not going to do this for this example, but I at least wanted to show you how to do that. And from here, that basically wraps up how to make these changes on the left sidebar and right sidebar of our website. So next we're going to go through the basics of setting up our first blog post within the dashboard of WordPress, and then I'll show you how to publish it live on your website. So let's dive into that part next. All right, so from here, let's just go back to the dashboard of WordPress, and then we can go over to Posts, Add New. And this is where you would start creating a post, and you can see this area. This is called the Gutenberg editor. So when WordPress 5.0 came out, they added this new editor, and honestly it took me a little bit getting used to going from the old editor before to this one, but it's one of those things that if you work with it enough and play around with it, you can actually really create something nice, and it becomes a lot more simple as you use it more and more. So it just takes a little bit getting used to. So I'm going to cover some important things that you need to know when it comes to this process, and I've actually got a couple blog related videos on my channel here about brainstorming content and my step-by-step process for picking topics to write about and how I format things. And if you feel stuck, this could be something that you want to check out. And I'm going to have a card pop up in the corner of this video if you want to check those out on this topic. And you can always subscribe to my channel here if you want to see more of that. But for now, I'm just going to go through the process of creating a mock post here. So I'm going to add this one as the title Fudge Brownies. And this is going to be something that you want to be optimized. So it's the title of your post, what your post is about. Then here I'm just going to go and I'm going to actually paste in an article that I've already had written here that I already got. And here it just gives an article about fudge brownies. So when you paste it in, I recommend formatting it ahead of time, and then you can start creating your content just like this. So there's a few key things that I want to go over here within actually the process of creating a blog post, and that is over here on this right side, we have our categories right here, and you can add a new category. So maybe you would call this one dessert, and then you would also have a parent category if you want. I'm just going to go and click add new category, and this will be under the category of dessert. And you want to make it a larger category. So in this example, I would have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. Those would be the 4 categories. So this one would fall under dessert in this case. And then once you're happy with that, you can go down to tags. And here you might want to just tag it something like brownies. And then it says right here, separate with commas. So if you write a comma, it will add a new tag. So you could always put fudge as another one. And you could do something like that. So you're going to want to tag this post related to things that it's about. So the tags would be brownies and fudge in this case, and the category would be dessert. Now here we can add a featured image. Now I actually got these off of Canva, and I'm going to just go and upload a featured image here that I downloaded from there. And this image, I'm going to make the main image when people see the blog post. So I'm going to go and select files, and I've actually got 2 different files here, and I'll upload each of them. One I'm going to put in the middle of the post, and then this one right here I'm going to make the featured one. So once we upload those files that I got from Canva, I'm just going to go and make sure it has good alternative text and a good title right here, and then I'll hit set featured image. So now you can see this is our featured image for the blog post, and then I'm going to close that one right here. If you want to go down to discussion, it says allow comments. You can turn that on or off if you want. I'm going to have it off in this case. So over here within the actual editor for our post, if you click on this, you can see that there's various things here. So if you wanted to make something bold, let's say you wanted to bold amazing fudge brownies right here, you can go and bold that right here for that phrase. You can italicize it here. You can also add a link right here. So if you wanted to add a link, say you're recommending some brownie mix on a website and it's an affiliate link, you could do that, and you would paste the link in here, and then you could click open link in new tab and then hit submit. So if I just put in here google.com just as an example, and I did that, now you can see that there's a link here. So if I clicked on it, you can see this link is going to go to google.com, and it's going to open it in a new tab. And I recommend opening it in a new tab if you're linking to something that's not on your website, and if you're linking to something within your website, to link it open in the same tab, so people will leave that post and go to the new one. It's totally optional, but in most cases I'm going to link it to a new tab to keep people on the same page of the website. So from here you can go and click on this, and you can go and choose different settings here. So if you want to insert something before or after this section, this paragraph here, you can do that. And you can also add blocks. So right here you can see that plus comes up. Let's say I'm down here and I'm going to go into the instructions about the recipe. and I want to add a new block. I'll go down here, and if you hover over this area, it comes up that says add block. It's also going to be up here, it says add block, and you can choose to do it after. So let's just hit enter one time, and then we can go and click add block. And here we'll have different options. So we can do all different things in here. You can have a quote, you can have a paragraph, add a heading, and I suggest breaking sections up into headings. And from here, I'm going to go and click image right here. So I'm going to go to media library, and I'm going to pick this image that I just uploaded about fudge brownies. And again, I'll add a good alternative text. I'll hit select, and that will make this go into place. Now, if you want to make it smaller or larger, you can adjust it as needed right here to fit better in your post. And if you want to link it to something else, you can go and click right here and link it to another page or another part of your site, and that is how you would do that. So some other things, if you wanted to maybe add a heading, so let's just say this heading would be directions, you can go right here and you can choose where it says change block type or style, and we can make it heading right here. And heading 2 would be a good one to make. So by default, what you would want to do is probably have heading 1 right here, the title of the post, and then each of the headings after it be a heading 2 or a heading 3. Heading 2 is a very common one to use throughout blog posts. And if you find something good, maybe you can just say, like right here, I'll call this one formula. So if I hit right here, hit enter, and then I'll hit plus, and I'll add a heading, and I'll just call this one formula as an example, because I see it says formula right here, and that's what the paragraph is going to be about. Now you'd want to make this a heading 2, and let's say you have a subheading beneath that. Within the formula section, you might want to make it an H3, a heading 3 tag for maybe margarine right here. And you can go through the process of setting that up and planning your post out. Now the important thing that you can do over here is if you wanted to preview it, you can go and click preview right here, and then click preview in new tab, and you get an idea of how it would look on your site. So here's the featured image, here's fudge brownies, the title, here's our link, and if you go down here, here's formula, this H2 tag, this header 2, and if we go down a little bit more, here's our picture of our brownies, and here's directions right down here. So that is an easy way to set up your post and get started, and you can preview the look of it. Now if we went over here to categories, once it was published, it would then have the category of dessert as an option for this categories dropdown. So another thing we can do is over here, it says publish immediately, or you can go and click on that and schedule it to post in the future. So let's say you want to post one article a week about different foods that you're covering here, and you want it to go every Monday. You could go and choose Monday the 12th and set a time, and this time is what's going to be based off your settings that I talked about earlier in the tutorial under the dashboard settings. So that is where your time zone would come into play if you're going to schedule posts to go live in advance for future posts. So once you're happy with everything, you can go and click publish right here. It's going to ask, are you ready to publish? And then it will say publish immediately. Again, you can schedule it here. I'm just going to go and click publish. And now it says it's live on our site. So if we went back over here to the actual site, this is the preview right here. You can see it says preview. I'm going to X out of that, and I'm going to refresh the site. So now here's our post about fudge brownies right here. And if we click on read more, we can see the post in full in its entirety right here. And this is just the basics of how to cover a post. Now you can see that recent post comes up on the right side and it says fudge brownies. And here we have a new category of dessert. So it will pull all of the dessert category posts in this area when you go to this dropdown. So that is a great feature to have built right into the site. And with these blog post basics out of the way here, I might actually go and add a couple more to this to make it look a little bit better when it's all said and done. But for the next step, let's go on to the About page. All right, so I'm going to go and navigate back here to the dashboard area. And then I'm actually going to go and click About over here. So you can see what our About page looks like right now. It just has this one recent post, this one category, has this sidebar, which I'm actually going to get rid of. And it just says About right here. It's really like a blog format. You can see that's how it looks on the home page as well. And I'm going to use a plugin here and get started with something to add a lot more functionality to this About page. So let's go back over here in the dashboard, and we'll go down to where it says Plugins, Add New. And in here, I'm going to search for something called Envato Elements. And once this comes up, it's going to be this one right here, Envato Elements. And I'm going to go and click Install Now and Activate. And now it shows that our plugin is activated right here. And we now have this icon on the left side for elements. So I want to just go over a couple things here. So there's these free blocks, and Elementor works on a block system. So you can move, drag, and drop different blocks in different places. Here, these free blocks come in Envato Elements right here. And if we clicked on About, you can see that there's all these different layouts, and you can literally just click and import it right in to your page and then start editing it. So you can go through these and see if there's any that you like. I'm actually going to go and upload a free template kit here in a second and build out our About page and our contact page using those. But for now, I just wanted to show you that there's lots of free blocks, and there's so many different categories that they cover within these free blocks. So you can hover over and see all the different types that they have here. I'm actually just going to go over to where it says Free Kits under Elements, and then I'm going to click on that. I'll go to Categories, Food and Drink, and here I'm going to search for one right here. It says Recipe. So if you want to preview the kit, you can go and click Preview right here, and it will open in a new tab and show us a preview of all the different pages that you can add to your site. So if you actually don't like how things are going and you don't like the overall look of the home page right here, you could go and change this completely from here on. I really do think it looks pretty nice, and I think this comes with features that a lot of other blog themes aren't going to come with. So I would recommend keeping it as is with this theme, with the Ashe theme here. But if you want to change that, there's options like you could add this one right here as your home page and then just change out the images. And this is going to be different categories as well. And here's an email that you need to set up. But it's pretty nice right out of the box to have something like that set up. I'm actually going to go down here and I'm going to show you the one that I'm going to use for the About page. So I'm going to use this simple page. I'm actually going to get rid of this header and leave our foodie header up here with Team Foodie. But then I'm going to have the rest of the site be set up like this with a nice, simple About Me page for our site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to X out of this area right here. And I'll go back here to the dashboard under Elements Free Kits, and I search for the Food and Drink one, and I'll just click Install on Recipe right now. So it says it was installed successfully. And now if we went over to look at installed kits, you can see that it's going to show up there. Now to set this up on our page and make it take place of our About page right here, what we're going to need to do is go over here, go back to where it says Pages within the dashboard, and we'll go to About and we'll click Edit. So within here, we're going to have the option to change the template. So right here, the layout says Default Template. That means it's going to include that sidebar with the recent posts, comments, and a search, things like that. So what I'm going to do is go to make it Elementor full width, and then I'm just going to click Update right here, and then I'll click Edit with Elementor. Now you need to have Elementor's plugin installed. If you didn't do that earlier, you'd want to do that. From here, we now have this area right here, and it says Envato Elements, and that's the plugin we just installed with that kit. So if we go and click on here, then we click on this area right here to load it onto our site, we're actually going to go and need to, let's install these actual extra plugins right here. And I'm not going to install Elementor Pro, but I will install this custom CSS one. And I'll click Install, and I'll close it. And then I'll go down here and I'll find the About Me 2, the one that I just previewed. So if you preview it here, it's going to look a little bit blurry because of the way it shows up, but that's fine. I'm going to go and click Insert Template. And now you're going to see our page transform from this right here to our new look with this on it right here. So you can see if we go and refresh here in the back end, actually I'll have to save it first. So if I go down here and click Update, then I go back and refresh it right here, we're going to see the new lookout on our page for the About Me. And here's where you can go and easily start to make some edits. So I'm going to go and remove this here first, and we'll go through the process of doing some basic edits with the Elementor editor here. So you can see back here we have these little boxes that form around where we're highlighting. So right here, if I wanted to delete something, I can actually go and right click right on it and then click delete. So right click delete and it gets rid of that right away. So that is a great feature to have. You can just easily delete things. If you wanted to add more sections, you could go down here and just click the plus, for example, here, and then add another section, and I'll just hit plus again, and I'll just add something as an example. So if you wanted to add heading text, you can go and drag it, click, hold, and drag it, and drop it in here. You can center it, you can add the text right here, or you can actually write right on the screen. So you can write, "This is my text." There's so many things that you can do with Elementor, and I have numerous tutorials on how to use it. So Elementor actually comes with a basic or a free version and a pro version, and you can get the pro version at wpwithtom.com/Elementor if you're interested. And with the pro version, you're going to have access to be able to load all these different features into your website if you want to have them. I'm going to use the free one here because it's totally fine to do, and I'm just going to go through some of these basic edits here on our site. So within this section right here, let's say you wanted to change out this image and add your own image here. You can go and right click, edit column, and you'll go to where it says style, and right here is the image. You can click on this image here and add a different image by uploading the file right here to your website. So that is how you would add a different image here. And you can also reposition the image here as well. So notice she's in the center here, but she's on the right of this picture. That's because they've adjusted where it is on the actual block for this image here. So right here, there's different icons. If I go and I right click, edit social icons, it actually was showing as a different color here. So maybe you want to adjust these. Maybe you don't have Tumblr and you want to just X out of that one and get rid of it. Maybe you want to get rid of Vimeo, but you want to add something like Pinterest. So if we go right here and we search for an official icon, so I'm going to actually go and name that something else in a second here, but let's go and type in Pinterest. And once we start to type it in, we can go and click Insert, and now you can see Pinterest icon here is the fourth one. And if you want, you can link to your Pinterest account. I would highly recommend it if you're going to put it there. And you can also change these colors very easily for all of these at once. So I think this is a little bit hard to see. So you could go over here and change the color. So right here, the primary color is basically transparent. So maybe you want it to be less transparent. Let's go like this. And we can make them white around it. And maybe the secondary color we'd want to be more pink in line with what our site looks like. Down here we have the border color. You can go and make that white or get rid of it altogether if you want. It's totally up to you what you do there. But I think this looks a lot better than it did before, where it had that yellow color that was a little bit hard to see. So from here, you can go and then just click Update to make these changes. Again, if you want to add your social links, just add them right in here. And if you click on Link Options, you can open it in a new window or keep it in the same. I recommend in a new window in this case. As I mentioned before, you can literally just click in here and change the text in the About section to rewrite your text for this area. And you can do the same in this accordion. So this accordion is essentially basically just a box that's going to open up and show people maybe frequently asked questions, or maybe you can talk about your history or background in terms of cooking or recipes and things like that. And you can add them here. You can actually go and duplicate them. So if you want to add more, you can go and add another one and another one, and you can see that there's more and more accordion. So if I went here, make that one accordion 3, I'll make this one accordion 4, and you have 5 different questions and answers, or maybe things about your history and about like why you started this website, things like that that might be interesting to people that want to check out your About page. I'll go and click Update right here. And if we scroll down a little bit more, again, here are recipe reviews in this case, and you can easily edit them and change out the person's picture and their text here with their recipe reviews. So let's say I didn't like this one and I wanted to change the picture out. I can click on this woman's picture right here, and then I can go and upload a different file for a person that wrote a review about my recipes. This is very easy to use, and you just got to go through it and kind of get used to it. Down here is the title, so it says Restaurant Manager, and that's right here. The name, Chrissy Song, right here, and it's right here. So it's very easy to edit and make changes with this. So let's say down here you have a YouTube channel or something like that. It is basically showing how to do it with email right here, but that would take a long time to show you the process of doing that. Maybe if you have a YouTube channel where you show how to make the recipes on it, you could go and add the YouTube icon right here and insert that in, and then someone can go and click on this to subscribe to your YouTube link, which you can put right here, and then people open it in a new tab and see your YouTube channel where you're showing off the recipes and cooking. So it could be a great thing to add right here. Additionally, if you want to change the background area here, so if we go and right click, edit section, and we go to style, we can see that we have this as the default color. If we wanted to change that, we could easily do that, and we can change the look of the color right here and change it to fit better for our site. So maybe you want something like that, and then you want to right click on the button and make the button a little bit different color. You can go right here to style, and we can change the button background color and maybe make it a little bit different so it stands out a little more. So it's very easy to edit this. You can also make the text different color. Instead of black, maybe you want white text here. Again, you're going to go click on it and then just go to style, text color, and you can adjust the text right here within it. Again, style, text color, and then you just adjust it to be white right here. So it's very easy to make these changes, and to make them go into effect fully, you need to click update down here to save the page. So that is a quick rundown of the about page here. If we go back over here, and this is what it looked like before, let's just show our quick updates by refreshing. And if we go back over here, here is our site with our about, and then our information here. We change this down here, the colors, and the social media over here. So there's some basic edits that are very easy to do within here. And a lot of this is going to be text-based, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because basically your text is going to be unique to your site. But this is a quick way to get a nice, clean looking about page up in a matter of minutes. So I hope this part was helpful on the about page. Let's next dive into the contact page of our site over here. Alright, so for this contact page here, we're actually going to do a very similar process to what we just did for our about page. So what we're going to need to do is go back here, and we're going to click right here, exit to dashboard. So from here, we're going to go back into this area, click here on the W to go to view pages, and we'll click edit for contact. Again, the first thing that we're going to need to do here is go to page attributes template, and we're going to make it a full width Elementor template, and we'll click update right there. And then from here, I'm going to go and click edit with Elementor to get started editing the actual contact page. So again, we're going to go right here to where it says Envato Elements, and we're going to click on that. We're going to click our installed template kit, and we're going to go down here to where it says contact. So there's contact 1 and contact 2. Now this one requires pro elements to make this contact form. So I'm going to do one without a contact form on here, but it's going to have our contact information. So let's insert this template right here, contact 1. And then once it's loaded, we have our page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start by hitting this plus icon right here. And then I'll hit plus right here again. That's the Elementor plus. I'll select a 1 width row right here. Again, I'll hit plus in this area. And here I'll go and find where it says spacer, and I'll drag that over and I'll drop that in. So I'm going to want the spacer here because I'm going to need to add some space in this section. So I'm actually going to go up here and delete this image out. So I'm going to go up, right click, delete it out, and now I'm going to need to adjust the spacer to fit this image in more properly. So if I were to adjust it, you can see when we add the spacer, it pushes it down for our image. So if I went to 90 or 100, it would look pretty good in this section. So I'm actually just going to go and make it an even 100 right here for 100 pixels. Again, if you want to edit an image, so you can edit this image and you can put your own here and readjust the width and the height right here. So you can do that if you want with your own image. You can change the text here, and right here it has an email address and it has some other icons. So right here, this would be the Twitter icon. If we click on that, we can see that it's the Twitter icon. It's actually not showing up properly right here. That happens sometimes with Elementor, and once you save it, then it shows the proper icon. And this says submit recipe. So if we click on submit recipe, it would probably link to somewhere where they can submit a recipe. So you can change these as needed and adjust them. Again, it's just like I showed before. If you add a new item, you can go and make it something else with a different icon if you want to have something else here that is related to cooking or to an action that you want somebody to take. Maybe you put your YouTube channel there or something like that. I'm going to X out of that, and I'm going to delete this list item right here. Just leave those 3 here that we have by default. So right here, this is actually a video. If I go and I right click edit video, you could go and put your video link right here for your YouTube channel. Maybe it will be a trailer, or maybe it will be talking about how people can get in contact with you, or talking about your website and why you love creating recipes. You could do something like that and add this video link right here. Very nice option to have. And if we went over here, you can change this text. Easily just click in it and edit it. I should have showed this before, but if you need to revert back to different points in the history, you can go down here and change the history and go back to different places throughout your editing process. So there's really no way to really mess things up too badly. Now if we go down here, we right click, edit icon list. I'm going to edit this a little bit. You barely can even see these social media icons right now because they're so light and faint. So what I'm going to do is go over to style, and I'll go and find where it says icon down here. And here you can see the color is this light gray. I want it to be able to be seen. So I'm going to adjust this and make it pink or something like this, more similar to what our site color is right here. And now you can see if somebody goes over it, you can see it adjust to the background color of pink when they hover over it. So you can also adjust list, and you can put a little bit of a color in here as well. So this color is very light. If you wanted to make it a little bit darker, you can see it, and it divides each one. So Instagram, Facebook has this little line between each one. I'm going to just update it with that in place here. I think it looks pretty good. And something I wanted to show you is if you actually go, just make sure you update it and save it here, and you wanted to go and grab something from another page. So if I go to our contact page and I go back over here to about, this is on the actual website, you can go and click edit with Elementor up here at the top. And then from here, it's going to load our about page. So if we were to go right here and go down to this area, let's say you like how this looks, you can go and right click, and then you can copy this and go back over here to the contact page that we're editing. So we're in Contact Me right now, and then you can go and hit plus. I'll do one structure like that, and I'll just go right click and I'll paste, and it will paste right in here. I'm going to go and delete that out right there, and now we have this section pasted right in to our site. So it's on our about page right here to stay in the loop and check out the YouTube channel, and then it's also right here to stay in the loop and check out the YouTube channel as well on the contact page. So that's a way that you can put it on both, and I think it looks pretty good. Now once you're happy with it, you just go and click update, and you can always go down here and also preview the changes. So if you want to see what it looks like, here is our contact page live on the website. Looks pretty nice, I feel like, and that really wraps up the basics of this contact page and our blog website in general. So I really hope that you found this basic how to create a blog tutorial helpful, and that you were able to start a blog that you feel good about today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up or a like, and subscribe for more WordPress and blogging related tutorials. Thanks for taking the time to go through this with me, and I really hope you have a wonderful day.